Hello everybody and welcome to another video. Now today, obviously we're seeing something slightly different to what my usual videos would look like. Today, we are in the Train Simulator Scenario Editor. And that is because I have a very special tutorial for you. This is a tutorial that I've wanted to do for a little while since I learned how to do it. But I've just not had the chance to. But I've now, as of earlier, when YouTube sent me a message, an email, I've now received 100 subscribers. So I thought, well, maybe now would be a good time to do it, because I didn't have any idea of what to do for 100 subscribers special. So I thought, what do I do? What do I do? And then I remembered I wanted to do this and thought, okay, I'll do that then. So here we are. Welcome to how to add announcements to your Train Simulator scenarios. So I guess the first thing to show you is that I've already created a scenario for the purpose of this. I'm not going to show you exactly how to create the scenario from the start. Let me take you on a little tour of what I've done. We have, obviously, our train sitting here. 2 Victor 34, Romford to Upminster. We have an AI train up at Gidea Park. 1 Foxtrot 43, sorry. That's going towards London. And we have 2 S-Stocks, train 067 and 080. I don't know if these 2 are correct. The other 2 are correct. These 2 I've got no clue. I wasn't going to look through the district line timetables just to find them. But they just give you the idea of the trains being there, so I'm not bothered. Not for a demonstration scenario. Plus, I wanted to keep the requirements low, and I think I've achieved that, to be honest. I mean, you need some sort of slightly more abstract. Maybe I should have kept to Steam store products, but hey, it doesn't matter. This train here, you'll obviously notice, is a overground roundel on a TFO rail train, and that is because it is my own reskin, available from my website. I will put a link to it, because I will also upload on my website this scenario and a specific folder that you will need, a template that you will need to add add announcements into your scenarios. So now that's the train sim stuff out of the way, let's get on to the actual scenarios, the actual sound effects. How do you add them to the game? Well, first off, you're going to need to record them, obviously. So there's a few ways to do this. You can either speak to a microphone and make them yourself. You could always use a text-to-speech editor type thing and record that speaking, if you don't want to use your own voice. Or you could do what I most commonly do and go out onto the real trains, ride the route that you want to make the scenario out of, and record the announcements from that. And that's what I do. I usually put my phone on my knee and just stay as quiet as I can while the announcements play, and just get the route like that. I mean, the final option is very impure. It doesn't give a particularly good sound sometimes, especially if there's passengers. If you go on a working train, then obviously you're not going to get very good announcements, but not very pure sounds. But, you know, it's the best you can do. It works for me, so I'm quite pleased with that. So, I guess, now, once you've got them, I record the entire journey. So, just in case I miss anything, I make sure I record the entire journey so I can chop and change it later. So I just throw it into my video editing software, cut it about a bit, select just the part where the announcement is held within that file, and then I'll just export that as a WAV file. WAV file is very important there. It has to be a WAV. So, let's get on to actually how to add them to the game. First off, you're going to want to go to your timetable view. Come up here, find the train we want. It won't matter too much at this point, but we will need it, so we'll find the train. Find it on the map as well, it'll be easy. Right, okay. Then we'll click Script. And you'll notice there's a thing, cannot read here. Don't worry, that's just saying there's no scenario, there's no script in the file. So if we click Open Folder, and we head on over to our file here, you'll notice that this is the folder for the scenario which we have just created. In order to add the announcements to it, you're going to want to script it. So, I have already created a basic sort of scenario script which can be adapted to any needs of scenario. So if I paste that in there, this will be available to download on my website. I shall put a direct link to that. So if I go and edit with Notepad++, obviously you can't see that, but believe me, I'm clicking Notepad++. It wants to, as you'll probably be able to see, it wants to open with RWTool. RWTool I found does not work, which is weird, but Notepad++ does work, so use that. If we flick over now to this, we will notice that this is the script. I'll show you exactly what to do with that in a minute, but first up, there's a couple more bits we need to do in this folder. Firstly, we need to create a new folder, and we need to name that EN. If I head over to my other window, these are the announcements that I've already recorded. I've saved them onto my computer. I'm going to select them all, copy them. They're the ones I'm going to be using in the scenario. Go back to the EN folder and paste them into there. This is what I want, and that's going to be very useful for me. So if I now, you'll notice they've got names that describe what they are. You'll really want to describe them, because otherwise you're going to get very confused very quickly as to what's what. So obviously at Emerson Park, at Romford, at Upminster, approaching, and no belongings. You'll hear that one later, obviously. So if I open one of these,
we have now arrived at Upminster.
That's what you want. Just literally a little short clip that just sort of is the announcement that you want to use. This process can also be used for like adding other sound effects. So like, say you wanted a telephone ringing, or somebody chatting in the background, or a station announcement, I don't know, something like that. If you want me to do a video on that, I could possibly do a video on that eventually, but for now we're just going to show you how to add it to the actual train. So if I switch now over to Notepad++, I'm going to walk you through some of this. Now, I'm not really sure what much of that does, if I'm perfectly honest, and I don't need to know what that does. It was Nathan Smith who showed me how to do this initially, and helped me create the first script for my scenarios. So thank you to him. Big shout out to him. Go check out his website and stuff. And this is the actual commands that you're going to need for your scenario. I can explain this pretty much. So function on event. So the event is the name of the trigger in the game. I'll explain what that means. So if event 1, event with the name of the event in here. This will obviously all make more sense later, but the name of the event will be what you want to call it in Train Sim. You need to add a trigger in Train Simulator. So this is basically saying, if this trigger becomes active, then the system will play the sound of the name of the sound here in them brackets, and then end command. So basically, if I trigger it in game by using a trigger, which I'll show you how to set up in a second, this will play that sound. That's basically what it's saying. That's all it is. So if I head back into Train Sim, we press reload. You'll notice that my script has already appeared up here. That won't do anything at the moment. We need to add triggers. So I'm going to go up here, trigger, and I want my first. I've already set this up, like I say. What I'm going to do, because of 315, the doors stay open. You're going to open the doors. There's a message that comes up to say, please press T again. Because in that time, when you're pressing T, the trigger for the announcement's going to play. Now, unfortunately, there is no way to get the announcements to play as the doors open every time. I'm going to show you different ways you can set it up so that it's slightly more realistic. I'm going to show you different ways in this video, so you'll be able to see the different ways. But first of all, we're going to use two triggers, or two platforms. So basically, this is the time after the last event in the scenario. So after I've had the welcome message, I open the doors. Once this function that is ticked has finished, the game will then trigger the door message. Once the door message has gone away, or once you've cancelled the door message, it will then trigger this. Now, you need to name your trigger. I'm going to call this at Romford, because the train is sitting at Romford. I'm also going to copy this, and now I'm going to head over to my scenario script. Now, I've done it. I've set this up so that you should be able to make your things easy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to select trigger 1. I'm going to paste the name of my trigger from the game into that. So now it's saying if the event of the name at Romford occurs, then it will play the sound. And in this bit here, I'm going to replace announcement1.wav with one of my sound files, which just so happens to be called at romford.wav. So if I highlight that, paste it in there, that means that when I arrive at Romford, or when that trigger occurs, this sound will play. I'm going to now jump back into Train Sim, run the simulation, and you will see exactly what I mean by that. There goes the compressor. Right. Drive 2V34 from Romford to Upminster in a class 315 in class 315858. Open the doors here and set up the train while boarding. Well, and all that. So if I open the doors, I set the train up as the scenario states. DRA off. I mean, technically we probably shouldn't have done that before we were ready, but oops. F. Put that into forward. Set up the destination as 23, because that's Upminster. Oh, that's still powering up, isn't it? I should have read it. Please press T again. It didn't actually work. Why is that, I wonder? Maybe it's because it occurred at the same time as that trigger. So if I go back into the game scenario editor, there's going to be a bit of loading and a bit of waiting around for this. You can skip around in the video if you need to, just to cut these bits out. I won't bother putting any times down, but you can probably find it. So we were wherever this is. It doesn't really matter. We don't need to see the train itself. All we need to do is we need to find it in the list. I'm going to add maybe I'll tell you what. I'm going to put that first. And I'm going to put a 1 second delay on it, so that this takes priority over the message. So if I now save the scenario. Again. Same message. Yada yada yada. Open the doors. Platforms aren't even there. People are white. And there we go. Well, I guess they're more creamy than anything, so 0223 Upminster. Let that power up. Yada yada yada. Obviously we're not actually driving anywhere at the moment, so it doesn't really matter too much about this, but you know, just keeps us busy while we're waiting. When the taskbar finishes. It's not working. Why is it? Hang on, let me double check the code. I wasn't expecting this to occur, but it shows you. This should show you how to problem solve. if you do come across this issue, because this does happen sometimes, I've noticed. It does like to occur. It could just be the game being stupid, to be honest, because I can't see what the problem would be. Let me double check that the sound file actually makes noise. If I open that...
Welcome to this London Overground service.
That functions. Okay. We know that works. Leave that open. We're going to go to this. We're going to go back to our script. And I'm going to take a look at it. Let's see. If event at Romford. The event is called at Romford. Did we put the .wav? We did put the .wav. This has actually got me confused now. Because that should work, really. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try with a different sound effect. Let's put that in. Oh, you know what it is? Hang on, I've just noticed the quotation marks are all off. So we were trying to play the incorrect sound name. You were probably all screaming that at me, weren't you? You were probably all screaming that at me, and I didn't even notice. Cool. So if we now place that into there, do that, save that. I'll get the game loading while I say change back to it. There you go. There we go. Close that. Doors. We shall see if this works, because it might be that I'd messed up last time. So, headlights. There we go. Upminster. I'm not going to bother setting the GSMR up because that's long-winded, and it doesn't. We don't get anywhere anyway. So, please work. Please work. Otherwise, this is a real embarrassment. It didn't work. Why didn't it work? Everything's named correctly. I'm not actually sure what's occurring here. That should technically play. Tell you what, we're gonna set up some more announcements first, because it's the same process for every announcement you do, pretty much. It's probably gone and worked on your game, hasn't it? It's probably gone and worked. It works all the time for underground routes, I've noticed, but not for national rail routes. It's really weird. Maybe it's just a problem with the game or something. Let's go. And maybe it's because there's still empty things. Do not. That will do. I'm going to have that 10 seconds after. And I'm quickly going to change the name in the script to do not, and trigger 2 can be do not, and the sound file is called nobelongings.wav. It doesn't matter what you name them, as long as it's a reasonable sort of thing. It knows what it's doing. As long as it knows what it's doing, it's fine. I mean, when you do this, you don't have to restart the game. That's what I do like about it. You don't have to restart every time you script something up. If I add the at... I know you can't see what I'm doing. Emerson Park. If I add a trigger for that at Emerson Park, and I'm doing that after the the station stop. You'll see what I've done in a minute. And then I do copy that name into there. Save that. I'll switch you back to the game now. We'll go into here. We'll reload. Expected. What have we got? We've got a bracket. Ah, maybe that's the problem then. Is there a bracket missing? There's a bracket missing. There's a quotation mark missing. There was a quotation mark missing. See, this is what happens when you're trying to rush something and you haven't prepared. You've got to take it nice and slow. Let's reload that. Still not. Oh, what? Hang on. I'm gonna persevere, guys. I will do this. I know what you're probably all thinking by now, but you know, we'll get this. There's a comma. There's a comma missing now. There you go. Save that. Reload that. Hey, there we go. Right, okay. So we'll do that. Load the game. Let's see if that works now I've actually put valid names in for some of them triggers. We're also going to actually wait until we've departed to see if the other announcement works and if it's just that one being stupid. Because that's possible. I've had issues in the past with certain announcements not really wanting to do stuff. It definitely has a sound effect to it though, so we know that's not the problem. We know that's not the problem.
Welcome to the
There you go. There you go. See? See, I told you. Perseverance, guys. That's all you need. Right. So we now know they're working. I'm still going to depart just to double check that this next scenario or this next sound effect works, and then I will show you what's next. So yeah, while that's doing that thing, let me just show you what's happened over here. So it is literally just a case of being silly careful to make sure that this thing reads exactly as you need it. Inside the quotation marks needs to read exactly as the trigger states. Inside that needs to state exactly as the sound file states. If you get something slightly wrong like I was doing, then it won't work. So that was my bad. I closed thingy. Oh well. Hang on. Let me reopen the script. There you go. I don't know what the train's doing. There we go. GSMR. GSMR I know is to Victor 34. Signal code is 115 for this particular station. Upon the doors being ready to close, we should get a 10 seconds after, we should get the no belongings message.
Please do not leave any belongings unattended. They may be removed without notice.
There you go. There you go. So that is that bit of the scenario scripted. So we know Romford's working. I'm now going to show you how I set up the other announcements. Firstly, yeah, that's still showing the game. Come on, game. Right, I need now to go to there, grab the train, copy it, and I'm going to take it down here. Now, I'm not sure of the exact location where they do the "we are now approaching" announcements, but I'm going to assume it is about 2 or 3 units out the station, I reckon. That is why I have a unit. I'm going to copy it again. Don't worry, this is obviously being deleted. copy that again. Is that enough? Too far? Not far enough? I think if we do 12 cars out the station. See, this is precise measuring going on right here. Once we've got that, we can then place down. It'll become apparent why I'm doing this in a second, but we can then place down a marker for a destination. And apparently I have my markers turned off, but it doesn't matter too much if I do that. If you do end up like this, just do that and then tick everything and you'll see the marker again. There's a little tip for you there, bonus fact. I'm going to call it announcement 3 because that's what it is by this point. I'm also going to grab this entire train set again. Come on. The wires don't help much at all. I think I've got the entire train. Yeah, I have got the entire train. I'm going to fly down to Upminster. I'm going to do the same thing here. If I can. There we go. Same thing there. Destination. Place that. By this point, it will be up announcement 5. It just makes it easier to give it a generic name sort of thing. Like I say, I'm not sure if that's precise, but it's fine. It's fine for what we need it for. Right. Next, you've got to place a go via instruction. Announcement 3, right there. Well, that's obviously a stop marker that I've placed down, but I'll show you how to go into it, how to get it to a go via. I need to find the marker because apparently I can't click it. It doesn't even exist. That's not helpful, game. Oh no, there it is. I'm just blind, aren't I? I'm very blind today. Right, okay. I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna hide it from the task list, so that the player can't see it and know when the scenario is. I mean, obviously you see the marker on the HUD, but you know, so be it, sort of thing. Same there. Scenario 5. Do that. Do that. That sets it as a go via, and it's also hidden. We need a trigger to be placed after announcement 3, and we're going to call this App Emerson Park. Like so. I'm going to do another one and put it after announcement 5 and call it Upminster. So that's the approaching ones. I'm going to also show you 2 different methods to set up the announcements. So there's one way you can do it, which will allow you, if I move that marker up, what it would do, once this announcement has finished playing, if I put a delay on that of, we'll say 40 seconds, once that announcement has played, that should be there. Is that 40 seconds? That should be 0. This one should be 40 seconds. Like so. That will mean that this announcement will play exactly 40 seconds after this one has played. As in started playing. So the problem with that is that the train may end up still moving, depending on how much interval you've put in, how much interval of time you've put in. It may still be moving by the time the announcement goes off. The other way to do it is to place the trigger after the platform stop, so that we do at Upminster, which means that once the platform duty is completed, this announcement will instantaneously play. And obviously I've put +00 there. So let's get them hooked up to the script. Copy that name. And I need to now show you how to add to the script. It's extremely basic. All I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to do that, and there you go. Again, do that. I think we need 6 announcements. So as long as you don't get track of what, don't lose track of what you're doing, I'm going to copy Approaching Emerson Park again, the name of it, and change out this at Emerson Park for Approaching Emerson Park. I think they may need to be the other way around. It may not matter though, but I'm going to swap it around anyway, just for neatness. So actually, I guess I can do that. Come on. Copy that. Paste that. Wait, hang on. That one should be there. There we go. Emerson Park. So that one should be Approaching Upminster. Copy that name. Paste it into there. Approaching Upminster. And finally, we have our at Upminster script, which I'll paste into there. Again, I'll grab the names of the files, of the sound files, that should be where they are. That's the Approaching Upminster one I've copied, so I shall place that in there. I shall copy Approaching Emerson Park into this one, actually. That one. And I shall copy at Upminster into there. Save that. Go back to my game. Do that. Press that. Reload the script. And we will now see that it's all there. That's it, guys. That's our announcements coded. So we've just load the game now. And I'll run through the scenario and show you exactly how it runs. You'll see what I mean by the time, the difference between leaving the time and having it trigger after you've stopped, sort of thing, or after the task is finished. I don't have async keys, so I can't speed this up. I might speed though, just to get us down there quicker, just so you can see.
Welcome to this London Overground service for
There we go.
Upminster. We will be calling at Emerson Park and Upminster.
There we go. Announcement number 1 to Victor 34115. Enter. Now we wait. We'll have a look around the Crouch Valley 3 route around Upminster. I mean, it's not spot on, but it's not bad either, to be honest. It's pretty good. So, just checking how long my recording's been going for as well. 34 minutes, so that's not too bad. I thought it'd be like more like 50 minutes by now. I spent a lot of time trying to work out what that problem was. It's an old route, this route, so credit where credit's due. Fair enough, sort of thing. Oop, for a flipping bench. So yeah, you see they've obviously custom built this place rather than use the asset from DTG. I don't know whether that's intentional or maybe if the route was released before DTG released theirs, probably. Because this route goes up to
Please do not leave any belongings unattended. They may be removed without
DRA
notice.
helps. There we go. Yeah, this route, let me show you the route map. It's got the Upminster branch to Upminster, obviously. It's got the C2C-ish. I don't really know what that, oh, that's barking there, and then I don't think there's any scenery on that bit. That's supposed to be the central line. Leytonstone. It's a bit, there's a 360. Oh, it doesn't matter about the speed. I said I would speed so that we can run through the scenario quicker. So that you're not watching everything. Because, I mean, it's not exactly the most thrilling route to drive, but it's something quick, something easy that I can just throw together the announcements for, just to show you how to set them up. You can make that script as long as you like, literally. It can be 3 announcements. It can be 30 announcements. It doesn't matter. If you want to get rid of some, you just literally delete everything between here and here, and that will just do that. Delete these bits, and there you go. That's it gone. I'm going to undo all that because I need that, but that shows you. Obviously, I'm going way too fast along here, but like I say, it's for science, I guess. It's for demonstration purposes. I'm sure Network Rail will see it like that. That's a sharp corner. I'm not going to do rail, but that is a bit too fast along there. Because there's quite a long distance between stations. You see we're approaching a trigger?
We are now approaching Emerson Park.
There's our approaching announcement. So we've got 40 seconds to stop the train and get the doors open until the next announcement plays. We may be coming in a bit hot here. It doesn't matter. As long as we've one car in, I can open the doors. Shh! That never happened. We're totally in the platform. If we look that way, see, look, it's an 8-car platform. We stopped up the platform. See?
This is Emerson Park. This train is for Upminster.
So you see how that announcement didn't play when the doors actually opened. Now, obviously, we left slightly too long there. I mean, to be fair, if you're going the actual speed, the actual line speed, I don't know why these have all gone red, but hey. Yeah, if you're going the actual line speed, probably won't notice, but, you know, or there'll be a longer gap. Or not a longer gap, but you'll be stopping for longer, so it will work out probably. But as we are not, we shall continue. Upminster's our next station. The only thing with hiding instructions is that the distance doesn't tick down. But what can you do, sort of thing. It's better than sort of revealing the secrets of the scenario. If you haven't told people that you've got announcements in your scenario, you don't necessarily want to reveal it. I've got scenarios that I've sort of said that they're there, but I've sort of not said that they're there, sort of thing. Just so people download it and they're like, oh, it's got announcements. Oh, that's neat, sort of thing. People do appreciate a scenario with announcements, I've noticed. And little sound effects and stuff. Like I say, you can do this with anything. You can do this with station announcements. You do this with little sound effects that you want to play at specific times in a scenario. Even if, heck, if you even wanted a dog to bark at a specific time in a scenario, you could set it up like this and get the dog to bark at that time. So this up here is using the method of placing the trigger after the platform stop. We want to start slowing down a little bit here because there's a 15 limit and I don't fancy doing 60 over it pretty much. If we can help it. Obviously I'm well ahead of what this scenario actually would you'd come into this platform. So the AI won't function as it
We are
should
now
do.
approaching Upminster, where this train terminates. Please change here for London Underground and C2C services. Please ensure you have all of your belongings with you.
There you go. We are approaching Upminster, apparently, which is indeed where we are. Crawl into here. Crawling in. Need the clock ticking. Stop. Doors. Wait until the instruction completes itself. And then we will get both a completion message and hopefully an announcement. Come on. Come on. I still
We
don't...
have now arrived at Upminster.
There you go. So that's the effect of putting him afterwards. It waits until the instructions complete when you're probably already closing the doors. So to be honest, it's really up to you how you do it. I built one scenario that uses the second method, as I've just shown here, and the one I've just finished building uses the time method. So it's not a perfect system, but it works. There's one more step which you need to undertake to finish the process, which I'm going to obviously have to reload the game for this. But there is one more step that ideally, it's not mandatory, but it is something you'll want to consider doing, because it means that people can't change and edit the script. When I release this scenario, I will release it with the editable version of the script so you can see it, because the non-editable version cannot be seen. You're basically creating a LUAC file. A LUAC file just stands for Lua completed, pretty much. I can't remember what Lua itself stands for, but it's just basically the LUAC is just a completed script file. So you can't open it and you can't edit it. It's just a file, sort of thing. It's just there. Like I say, I will release the Lua as an individual download on my website. So look out for that. I should post links in the description when they're available. There we go. Do that. Yada yada yada. If we go into World Editor, I wish there was a direct theme for Scenario Editor, but hey ho. Maybe there's some DGG. If you're watching this, you need to do that. Thanks. Come on. So if we go to our timetable, script, generate complete MD5. Click that. Done. Now we switch back to our... I didn't even switch it to the game. Ah, what an idiot. Oh well. I don't know how long that's been like that. I apologise. But you get the idea. You heard the announcements. There's your file. That's it. Now what you can do, delete that. I'm going to leave it like I say, because I'm going to leave it, but in real world scenario, you just delete that file. Anyway guys, thank you a lot for watching. I hope this hasn't been too much of a mess, this video. It's really the first sort of description video I've ever done. I don't usually like running to scripts, and I hadn't prepared a script of any kind, but I usually prefer to just sort of do and say stuff as it happens. But obviously I can't do that in this kind of video, so I might have to redo this tutorial at some point. But that will give you an idea of how to do it. So I hope this will be useful. Thank you very much for watching the video, Thank you also for 100 subscribers. I didn't actually think I would ever reach that. To be honest, I don't upload that frequently, and you know, there's not that many people that really watch my videos. Usually, at least. I think it's that S-Stock video that did it, to be honest. People seem to like that, and I'm glad, because I quite like that as well. That's a beautiful train, the S-Stock. Yeah, like, I used to do a lot of Minecraft videos. They never got any views, pretty much. So, but since I've done Train Sim, people seem to like it. So, thank you for sticking around and showing your support. It does mean a lot, even though I don't say it. So yeah, I'll let you get on with your day. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.